Hey everybody, wanted to give you a quick demo on taming the event objects here on Angel Island. And when I speak about Angel Island, I'm talking about Siege and any of the other shards that we may launch. They all use the same world files, they all use the same code base, they're just launched with different switches. So, and Angel Island's the granddaddy of them all, so we'll just refer to Angel Island. On Angel Island, a few years back, after probably 15 years of shard uptime, we found that there were a lot of spawners and other objects, teleporters, that were created and left behind. So it made cleaning up the world and launching a new shard a little bit painful. So we introduced this notion of event spawners, event teleporters, event moongates, and they have a designated time window. They'll run for 2 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, and then they automatically shut down, deactivate, remove the creatures, all that stuff. But it does get into the way of development for seers when they're building a semi-permanent structure. Like we're working on one now, and we've got teleporters, and it's frustrating for the staff when they go set these things up, and before they can finish, their teleporters or spawners or whatever are timing out. So the short answer is that there's now a command, make event object permanent, or MEOP, to make that thing permanent. Okay, and that basically means that it has a forever time window, and it also overrides the destination restriction. So by default, you can't create a teleporter to Trammel or to Malice or to Ishanar without overriding destination override. This is really just so that GMs have to proactively make that decision to allow travel to this place. When Siege opened, we had some teleporters that were, I had players leaking into T2A on a regular basis, and it was largely due to the abandoned, forgotten teleporters that were still active and allowing this travel. So we have these two mechanisms. We have the event window, in which case the teleporter is active, and then you have to proactively set that, yes, I know that this is going to another map. I've dealt with that in my event or my quest. Okay, so let's start by making these two teleporters permanent. So it's just MEOP, make event object permanent. Okay, so you've canceled whatever the existing event was and rescheduled a new one, and it goes for the next 100 years or whatever, and it's activating in 29 seconds. And same over here. Now there's a tool here I've introduced just because I've always hated setting, linking teleporters to their destination location. It's just sort of a pain, you got to open the props of the teleporter and set the map and set the point destination, and it's just a little bit of funny rework. So we have a much simpler way now. So let's do that. It's called link transport, and this will work for teleporters and moongates and sun gates and whatever other kinds of keyword teleporters, all that stuff. So link transport. So it's going to ask me to target the spawner. Okay, and now we just need to go to the destination. I happen to know the destination is on another map. We're in Feluca now. So we're going to go to the cave tracks 2. Oh, this is actually still, oh yeah, this is Trammel. Okay, so we need to link that, teleporter. I think here's good. Right on top of it. Let's do here. Okay, so we're going to link it here. Link established. Okay, so we just linked that other teleporter. We're going to do the same with the other one. Actually, we can do 2 at a time here. We'll link this one back to that location. Cave entrance, and probably here. Okay, now we're going to link this guy. Link transport. All right, and we're going to go back here. Tracks 2. All right, link established. Now we just need to link this guy. Okay, so I think this is good. All right, so now we've linked both of these guys, and they've got their coordinates and the map, which is important. Okay, so let's hop in here, see how it worked. Yeah, worked great. Uh-oh, not working. Okay, so we're building this new event, and I noticed these guys, and I've seen this before over the years, not super common. But as it turns out, and I would tend to think it's a client issue, the teleporter here is not even getting any movement events or move over events or anything like that. And the reason is a little bit esoteric. It's because my Z is actually at 6, and the Z of these guys is 3. So if I click on it, it'll tell me it's active, but it says the teleporter might be too low. Try raising it to Z6. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so call it a map weirdness or a client issue, whatever, but items, if they're too far away on the Z-plane, they don't generate events, in which case we can't process the movement. Now it'll work fine because we are at the correct Z. So if you're getting that problem, now you know what to look for. If the thing tells you it's active, then you just stand right on top of it and click it, and it'll give you a warning down here that the Z is probably wrong. Okay, so let's go look at another teleporter here. This one we're going to get a slightly different message. Okay, so the event is not running, so the event is expired. And the other thing it's telling us, a destination override is required. This tells us that we're going to another map, right? We're currently in Trammel, and this one happens to be going to Ishanar. Okay? So by running make event object permanent on this, it will solve both of these issues. So, and seers can execute this command. Okay, transport's activating in 20 seconds. So seers can activate this command as well as administrators. I just ask that they don't be used. You don't make permanent things that aren't part of some permanent or semi-permanent event. We're building these new areas loaded with controllers and quests and things, and so we don't want these things timing out. We want them permanent. So it's active, going to Ishanar, everything's good. So let's just hop in there. I'll probably need to hide. Let's see if we can get back up. Yep. Okay, so that's really it. We talked about linking transports easily. We talked about funniness with the teleporter's Z-plane. If you get that wrong, it's just kind of a quiet failure. And so now I give you a little message that should hint to you what needs to happen. And then finally, the MEOP command to make these things permanent. One final note before I get into a little bit more detail about why these things are here. Even though I converted it to permanent, it remains as an event teleporter. None of these things are blocking now, will stop it from running. But being a different type allows me easily in patching and shard management to locate all such teleporters. So this is where I talk a little bit about the whys. So we have a notion of a core shard. The core shard is the core spawn, the core teleporters. You know how you get in and out of dungeons. Those are all teleporters. Those are part of the. Those are what I call core. They don't change. They don't move. They're not ephemeral. They don't come and go with events or new areas. They're core to the functioning of the shard. Spawn is a big one. Those spawners are not only placed specially, but they have certain creatures on them with a certain home range, etc., etc. So the reason for event teleporters and event moongates and event spawners allows the system behind the scenes to quickly identify these and delete them, activate them, deactivate them, allow us staff to jump from one to the other to investigate them. Okay, so even when we convert these event teleporters to permanent, which is what I've done here, this one's going to run until 1998. It still remains as a special object in the world and makes management a fair bit easier. As I mentioned, after running the shards for 20 years, you end up with a lot of junk if you're not careful. GMs come and go. They build stuff. Things get sprinkled all over the map in these interesting little locations. And then you go to launch a new shard, and then you're visiting all of your teleporters, and you're trying to get a standard an era accurate world built. And as you move around the map, you're finding all of these mouse droppings. And I was checking the dates, and some of them go back to 2004 when we launched. We were having a good time building stuff, and so this whole event object system attempts to mitigate that. Staff cannot create, a teleporter. They're always event teleporters. They cannot create a moongate that isn't an event moongate. However, now they have the mechanisms to make it permanent, but it's designated as above and beyond the core functioning of the shard. Okay, so that's really it. Couple new tools, link transport, make object permanent, and then keep your eye open for teleporters that are sitting a couple of Z levels below the player. They won't fire, and it's nothing about it being an event teleporter. It could be any teleporter. You just need to raise the Z on those. Okay, thanks. Bye.